In our last lesson we talked about aerial perspective and how as things are further away they start to become more indistinct, not so sharp, they're paler and tend to go into the blue sort of tint. So one of the techniques we were looking at was using dry brush. Today I thought we'd continue a little bit more with the dry brush technique. The dry brush is very useful for giving textures, for blending colours together and so on, but it's also very good for creating things like clouds, and I thought we'll have a little look at creating clouds using dry brush technique. This is going to be my sky, and we'll mix up a blue, which is quite a lot of white. See, I've got a tiny bit of yellow in there, but that's more a mistake than anything. In the upper part of the sky I will make a little warmer, so I will use a little bit of our magenta, just make that a little warmer and a little darker. Put a bit more of the blue in as well. As we get lower, the sky will get paler, so we'll add more white. When I'm quite near the bottom, in the white down here, I might just add a tiny bit of the yellow again, just to give it a bit of light. Our sky. Now we're going to create sort of fluffy summer clouds that are just white and not very substantial today, and dry brush will be a very good technique for that. Dry brush obviously means putting the paint on dry using no water at all, and we have to really scrub away and work at it. Now we can sometimes use dry brush very softly and we'll get a textural effect. Other times we can scrub quite hard, and we'll probably need to do that for our clouds. I haven't dried this canvas first, so the white's going to tend to go a little blue, which we'll be able to use. I'll start the cloud in the middle and gradually work out, creating a shape as I go, and I'm not adding any more paint until I really start to run out. I'll make a fairly substantial cloud that's going to go right over here. Try and make it fairly irregular, and they tend to break away from each other, the little clouds here, so we'll have a few little over this side, up here somewhere. We want them all slightly different sizes and slightly different spacing and shape, but at the same time we want them to sort of look as though they all belong together. Now I'm deepening the colour a bit more because the bluish colour that has happened will look like shadow, so we'll keep that near the bottom and I'll work up here. The more I scrub, the softer it gets as I go out. I want it quite white in the middle. You'll notice I'm not adding any more paint. I can keep doing this for quite a while, and I can just make these softer and softer as they get out into the sky. The texture of the canvas is gripping the paint off the brush, and that's enabling me to go so far out here. If this were on a smoother surface, it would be harder to get this effect. Okay, so very simple, but we've got a quite soft cloudy sky here, and if I want to add a little bit more depth into the colour down here, or a little bit more light up in here where the sun is catching, I can quite easily do that. I can make myself up a bit of purple with our red, for example. This sort of purplish colour, and I can make it darker over here. I'll add perhaps some sunlight on here by going to my white again with a tiny bit of yellow just to give it a bit of a lift, and I can sort of put a bit of sunshine into our day. So a very simple way to create clouds with dry brush. Thank you. I'll take this opportunity to mention our art holiday on Australia's Gold Coast at Broadbeach in May, and if you're interested I suggest that you enrol fairly quickly. You'll find the information on my website down below here. Okay, thank you.